watching from Canada, well done. Genuinely. While the US is still stuck in a loop of tariff debates and trade war theatrics in 2026, you can walk into a dealership and drive one of these home. The Voya Taishan 9L. The vehicle that makes the Cadillac Escalade look like it belongs in a museum. I traveled specifically to get a proper look at this thing and figure out if all the noise around it is actually justified. And I'll be straight with you, this whole experience left me a little uneasy. Because if this represents where the Chinese auto industry is right now, American carmakers have a very small window to get their act together before they're completely buried. Settle in, because this one is going to sting. First, let's get the scale of this thing across properly. This is not just another import trying to make a name for itself. The Taishan 9L carries a 65 kilowatt-hour battery. 65. The average plug-in hybrid in North America scrapes together maybe 15 to 20 miles of electric range on a clear day with favorable conditions. The Taishan covers over 230 miles on electricity alone. That already beats the base range of a Nissan Leaf. And this is purely the backup mode before the petrol engine even comes into play. Stack both together, and you're looking at close to 900 miles of total range on a single tank and charge. That's New York to Chicago, a wrong turn, most of the way back, and still no gas station required. It's almost rude how capable that is. The front end commands attention before you even park. There's a wide waterfall grille that looks like it was machined from one solid piece of chrome, and flanking it are headlights that aren't just headlights. They're high-definition projectors capable of casting a crosswalk onto the road surface for pedestrians. The car literally paints the lines on the asphalt. It's the kind of feature that makes everything else on the road feel behind. Up top, those small bumps on the roofline aren't decorative. That's a LiDAR array. For units in total. Most North American vehicles are still working out how to make a single camera system reliable. And this one is building a real-time 3D picture of everything around it. It runs Huawei's ADS 4.0 autonomous driving platform, which is currently one of the most capable systems anywhere in the world. It reads the road before your eyes do. A little unsettling, honestly, but in a way that doesn't make you want to stop driving it. Walking around the side, the proportions lean heavily into luxury territory. This thing stretches past 17 feet, which puts it firmly in land yacht category. But the 22-inch disc wheels carry it off with an almost concept car level of confidence. The door handles are gone, fully flush with the bodywork, and they extend silently as you approach. Not in a dramatic, theatrical way. Just quietly, like the car knows you're coming. The two-tone factory paint job is deep and even, with panel gaps that are basically impossible to fault. I looked. I genuinely tried to find something crooked. Nothing. The acoustic laminated glass runs all the way around, and closing the door cuts you off from the outside world completely. Construction noise, traffic, ambient sound, gone. The rear carries a full-width taillight bar built from OLED panels, not standard LEDs. The same technology in high-end televisions, used across the back of an SUV. The unlock animation is smooth in a way that feels almost unnecessary, but here it is regardless. And there are no visible exhaust pipes. Despite housing a combustion engine, the Taishan 9L presents itself as a pure electric vehicle, tucking everything out of sight. It wants you to believe it runs on good intentions. Under the skin, the engineering is genuinely unusual for this segment. This is a PHEV, but it's operating on an 800-volt architecture, technology associated with the Porsche Taycan, not a family SUV. What that means in practice is a charge from 20 to 80% in roughly 12 minutes. The old argument that charging takes too long simply doesn't apply here. Stop, plug in, get a coffee, leave with another 200 miles of electric range. The powertrain is built around a 1.5-liter turbocharged engine functioning as a generator, feeding dual electric motors, with a combined output close to 660 horsepower. In a vehicle that weighs 3 tons, it reaches 60 miles per hour in about 4 seconds. That's quicker than a Ford Mustang GT. The air suspension compresses and holds its composure through the entire acceleration run, No nose lift. Safety usually gets a brief mention, and everyone moves on. Not here. The chassis uses gigacasting, large single-piece aluminum structures that increase rigidity significantly. The sensor suite runs to around 30 units between cameras and radar systems. Inside, cameras track eye position, head orientation, and heart rate. If the driver begins to show signs of fatigue, the response isn't a single warning beep. The seatbelt tightens, cold air blows directly at the driver, and a peppermint scent is released through the cabin. The car physically intervenes. That's not a feature you expect to find. And then you open the door properly, and everything changes. The dashboard is effectively a continuous screen stretching from the driver's position all the way across to the passenger side. It runs a Snapdragon 8295 processor, the same class of chip in flagship smartphones, with response times that feel instantaneous. You can move apps, maps, or media from one side of the display to the other with a single swipe. The Tesla touchscreen, by comparison, feels like an ATM. The augmented reality heads-up display projects a 75-inch virtual image onto the road ahead, marking lane lines in green, tagging the vehicles around you, and painting navigation arrows directly onto the tarmac. You never look away from the road to check a screen. Materials throughout are a consistent story. Hard plastic is absent completely. The headliner is microfiber suede. The wood is genuine open pore walnut with actual texture. The aluminum trim is cold to the touch. The gear selector and volume knob are crystal finished, catching light and throwing small prisms across the center console. The cabin doesn't smell like new car. It smells like the room where a very expensive decision just got made. The seats are wrapped in Nappa leather and come with heating, ventilation, and a 10-point massage system that genuinely works. Not a mild vibration. This thing applies real pressure. The center console contains a compressor-driven refrigerator that reaches -6 degrees Celsius. Actual cold. Enough to keep ice cream properly frozen. Switch the other direction, and it heats to 50 degrees to keep takeout warm on the way home. It's an absurd feature. It also makes every other car feel like it's missing something obvious. The second row is where the car earns the Executive Transport label. 2 independent captain's chairs, each with its own embedded touch screen in the armrest for individual climate, audio, sunroof, and ambient lighting control. 128 lighting colors, sync to the music. Rear legroom is generous enough that a 6 feet 2 inches passenger can sit fully extended without contact with the front seat. There is a zero-gravity recline mode that positions the occupant at the angle NASA identified as optimal for spinal decompression. 5 minutes in this seat, and it becomes difficult to care about anything outside the window. The double-pane glass reinforces that feeling. The outside world simply doesn't reach you. On top of all of this, there's a 15.6-inch OLED screen that folds down from the roof above the rear passengers, with gesture control, so you never have to reach up to interact with it. Wave to pause. The audio system has 28 speakers with headrest-mounted drivers for the front seats, all running Dolby Atmos. The bass doesn't register as sound so much as a physical event. For actual day-to-day use, the third row drops electronically, and the cargo area opens up considerably. Stroller, weekly groceries, large pets. It handles the realistic demands of a family vehicle. The trunk also includes a standard 2.2 kilowatts household power outlet, enough to run a coffee maker, a projector for an outdoor setup, or in the event of a power outage, keep a home refrigerator and television running for an extended period. It's a backup generator that also functions as a luxury hotel. The question of what European carmakers are charging a premium for starts to feel harder to answer. Now the number. This is where it gets difficult to process. The expected Canadian market price, after conversion, shipping, and all associated costs, is projected to start around $55,000 for 660 horsepower, 900 miles of total range, a refrigerator, a ceiling television, a 28-speaker sound system, and a vehicle capable of driving itself more competently than most humans behind the wheel. A Chevrolet Tahoe starts at $60,000 with cloth interior and a plastic dashboard. A BMW X7 opens at $90,000 before options. The Taishan 9L comes in at the price of a well-equipped Honda Pilot. It shouldn't be legal. There's a broader question sitting underneath all of this. For years, the premium car market has been selling a combination of heritage, badge recognition, and marketing around engineering excellence. While that was the transaction, Voya was engineering solutions to problems that buyers had learned to accept as permanent. Range anxiety doesn't exist at 900 miles. Boredom in transit doesn't exist with a ceiling screen and a 28-speaker system. Road fatigue doesn't land the same when the seat actively works against it. This vehicle isn't an incremental improvement on what came before. It's a different category of product wearing a familiar shape. So the $55,000 question, and for once, that phrase is literal, is whether you trade your current vehicle for this one. The Ford Explorer, the Tesla Model Y, the BMW X7. Right now, given the option. Or does brand loyalty and familiarity outweigh everything on this spec sheet? Leave it in the comments. I want to know how many people are actually ready to make that call. If this was worth your time, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because next week we're looking at a Chinese electric sedan that reportedly swims. That sentence is accurate. You'll want to be there for that one. I'm Elite Wheels, and I need a moment. See you in the next one.